Hi, let me know if you can hear me, please. Maybe?
Yes.
I can hear you off the call.
Woohoo! Okay. Well.
I have it open. I can hear.
Oh, okay. Awesome. We'll get started then. We're playing with tech. Welcome to Rainbows and Razor Blades Productions, where we're going to get Feywild and out tonight. We're doing a 5e one shot tonight with these wonderful people joining me. Go around, introduce yourselves, and tell us what race you are playing tonight. We'll start with Danny.
Hi, I'm Danny. I'm playing Ethvin of Vidalkin. So picture this, but blue.
And Ray.
Did you say me?
I said Ray.
Oh, wait.
Oh, sorry, you cut
Okay.
out.
Oh, did I? Sorry.
I'm Wraith. I'm playing yesterday. He's a high elf, I think. Yeah.
And Travis.
Hi, I'm Travis. I am playing as a Kenku cleric.
Named Spade Dig, because that is a name.
Spade Dig. Yeah.
Up next we have Izzy.
Hi, I'm Izzy. I'm playing a fairy druid named Hydra.
And last but certainly not least, Christian.
Hello, I am Christian. I am playing Tender, a Fearbold Ranger.
Alrighty. So as we open, our band of adventurers are waltzing through the Feywild. And they hear on the distant wind what sounds like a fairly sizable group of people talking. Do you all go towards the voices, or do you try and go away from them?
I've always been told it was bad to listen to the voices.
No. I just go back to my book. But if any of you want to go check it out, go. By all means.
Well, not alone.
I'm super curious about the noises also.
You're always super curious about the noises, but I'll go with you. Only to keep you company.
So as you all start to move towards the sounds, even if you seem to veer off and turn in a different direction following the path, the voices always seem to be directly ahead of you. This is odd. Does this make you want to try and turn away or continue on?
This is very odd.
I swear, I think we're catching up to it. We just need to keep going.
Spade Dig just makes the sound of a bell, as if somebody was shaking it in confusion.
I mean, it's probably a bad sign, but I'm kind of curious.
So as you continue traveling, you come upon an open area. Like, the trees part, the grass mostly ends, comes down to a much more cut down words. Shorter. Words are hard tonight for me, apparently. But as you walk into it, it appears to be an open-air courtroom. You do see many benches with many a variety of fey creatures sitting on there. You see some sprites, you see some pixies, you see some oddly shaped, almost tree-looking people, and those seem to be the most upset. And in front of that, there are two tables, one at which sits a lonely human, and at the other sits a very striking Eladrin that has what looks to be robes on, holding a book. And in front of that a tree has been grown up into a court judge's bench, and sitting there, a very bored Eladrin with a gavel. Order! Order! The defense team has finally arrived. And looks at all of you.
I send my owl into the air to start like scoping the perimeter.
I look behind me to see who we could possibly be addressing.
Bad Dick just goes.
Not just voices,
That's
I
about
think they're seeing things.
Agreed.
You're approached by a Fey noble who is flanked by a pair of Fey knights. The noble introduces themselves to you as Kiffle, the court herald, and thanks you for arriving to serve as the defendant's representation. Go ahead, take a seat at this bench here.
Hydra, did you sign us up for something again without checking in with us first?
I don't think so.
Because you remember
you are
how that
more
turned
than
out last
welcome.
time.
You're more than welcome to refuse to represent your client, but then he'll just be assumed guilty and put to death. That's very negligent. And you could even be brought up on a crime for it.
It seems like a lose-lose situation. What
You're
exactly
welcome
does
to
he
try
stand
and
against
flee,
then?
or you can go and take a seat at the designated table and meet your defendant.
Yesterday just shrugs and goes and takes a seat. Like, okay, fuck it.
Gonna hover over. My character is all of 9 inches, so I'm just gonna sit on yesterday's shoulder on the bench.
Fair.
I just walk over and then I just sit and I just open my book and be like, let me know when I'm needed.
Hopefully he won't be. There's a lot of wood around here.
It was one time last week.
One time last week, exactly.
That's an improvement.
So, human. I addressed the accused.
You all begin to sit down. It had been a table that only had 3 chairs, but as more of you approach, chairs for all of you do appear so that everybody has a place to sit and the bench extends. Sitting next to all of you is a human that introduces himself as, "Hi, I'm Tenzin. I'm from Terathia. I was part of a logging crew. And we kind of strayed out of the Wheel Death and made it into the Feywild. And we started to cut down a sycamore tree. It was totally innocent. We didn't know we were in the Feywild. But apparently, the tree belonged to a dryad, and then we got attacked by a bunch of sprites, and they put me to sleep by shooting me with an arrow, which is really weird. I've never had that happen before. But now I'm here, and they're telling me that they want to execute me for trying to cut down a tree that I didn't know was in the Feywild.
But did you do
And
it?
as he finishes talking, the Fey in all of the seats behind you, and you do notice that a set of bleachers has suddenly appeared, and some of the Fey go to sit over there, much like in a human court would be the jury. And they all begin to call for the human's blood. They won't even call him by name. You hear things like, "He must be executed for the crimes against my beloved Chrysalia." And you see one of the tree people that just is holding another, and they're both just crying these huge tears. And a bunch of the sprites are just flitting about. They just look very annoyed, very angry. Order! Order! We will give you 10 minutes time to prepare. And then he basically like just kicks his feet up on the bench, pulls down his tricorn hat, and appears to fall asleep.
Is the first rule of being in court not admitting that you did the thing?
But
He did it. He just said he did it.
I know.
but we didn't fully cut it down, and can I be guilty if I didn't know? It was a tree.
Are we near where like that tree was cut down?
The Wheeldath is... It's not the immediate trees around you, but, one of the dryads that you can now tell that those are the tree-looking creatures behind you, points out and says, over there, and above the trees to the east, you do see trees that are easily 3 or 4 times taller than the trees around you, and it's just like this sprawling forest that stretches for quite a ways.
Do I have the opportunity to go where the alleged tree was assaulted?
It would take you a couple hours. You have 10 minutes.
Oop, I'm out of ideas.
What exactly is the, how shall we say, what's the word I'm looking for? Compact understanding between the humans and the Eladrin as far as who may cut what tree and how many trees may be cut and for what reason and so on and so forth.
Well, you see, that's the thing. I was in a completely different forest. I was in a forest that was in my homeland. I have cut trees in that forest many a time. And then suddenly, everything kind of shifted a little. And it was like the same forest, but not quite the same forest. But I was already cutting the tree down. And so my axe just swung again. The other loggers, they continued. And then that's when we were attacked by the sprites, but because I had quit cutting, they just incapacitated me. They didn't take me out right away. They told me that I was to represent the humans in this and that I would decide the guilt of all.
Where are the other humans currently?
I don't know. I assume that they killed them, but I haven't seen them if not.
I don't know. I'm still on the whole he admitted that he did it thing.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Low guilty, low guilty. Is Chrysalia still alive? Or
The dryad that had talked before was talking about his beloved Chrysalia overhears you, like, they're right behind the bench. And he's like, yes, this is Chrysalia. And you see that the dryad in his arms lifts her head, and there are giant, like, gouges that are in her skin as it looks as if she was the one being cut down. And every hit that the tree took was an injury to her.
And Spade Dick just looks
murder.
over at the woodcutter with like this. You feel judgment for a second just because of how beat up this dryad looks. And that's it. No sounds.
Kinda fucked
Okay.
up.
Well, it seems to me that this is a case of accidental attack. A person is certainly allowed to cut trees. It is part of the balance of nature. We cut trees so that others may grow. We cut trees so that we may warm ourselves and keep ourselves sheltered. It is part of the covenant we have with nature. If he was transported suddenly, I can't see how he would be guilty of attacking this dryad. I'm certain he didn't mean to, as I say that, and look at Tenzin. Didn't mean to, correct?
No, I just want to go home. I didn't need to come here. And he just starts crying.
I have a question. Who is in charge of, like, you know, the portals and stuff?
It is well known. another Eladrin that is in the seats behind you says, "It is well known that the portals are unstable, but they should have known as soon as things started to look different that they must be somewhere different, and it might have different rules."
Have you checked his vision? Like, if he can't see that well, not really his fault. What's your vision like?
He just continues to cry.
Well, I tried.
Seems to me that he's a simple logger, a man of the earth, perhaps, a kind man, a man of family, but
golem?
perhaps not necessarily well educated in the ways of the Feywild and with magic and such things.
As you continue to try and justify, at the other bench, you do see that the one elf in robes does appear to be a moon elf in a formal pale blue set of robes, and there is now the dryad who was introduced as Chrysalia has joined her and is sitting next to her, and she stands up and she slams her hands down on the table. "The human you see before you is on trial for attempted destruction of an elder dryad's tree, one of the highest crimes of our society. My client claims he had... No, not my client. Oh, what the... Sorry, I'm just now reading this, and it doesn't actually make sense.
Oops.
Not guilty by reason of grammar.
Seems to me that if the prosecution cannot even articulate the prosecution they wish to prosecute, then the entire thing should be null and void.
Okay. I just gotta change some stuff around because I misread something, but I'm gonna go with it. "The human you see before you is on trial for attempted destruction of an elder dryad's tree, one of the highest crimes of our society. My client claims that he attempted to chomp down her sycamore in the Wheeldath, and he was apprehended in the process by a wing of sprites who, thankfully, were on patrol while the plaintiff was resting. The punishment for this crime is death, and I believe, Honorable Judge Merithael, that you will see it is a fitting punishment. Thank you." And she adjusts her robes and sits down.
They certainly
Was
seem
it a
to be...
tree or a person that he assaulted?
Sounds like it was the tree and it transferred to the person.
The judge then looks over. You have the chance for your opening remarks now. It seems that we have begun." And he sits up straighter and... Order! Order! Proceed.
1 second, please. If he's charged with trying to chop down a tree, but it wasn't actually a tree, doesn't it mean that the charge is incorrect and therefore needs to be thrown out? Just throwing that out there.
We want something in return. What if we offer, like, community service, or maybe he becomes a druid and starts planning stuff?
I mean, like, it wasn't like he didn't fully chop down the tree. Like, she's not dead.
Yeah.
The judge...
It would be only an attempted chopping.
Yeah.
We could chop that sentence down somewhat.
The judge does sit straighter. "In the autumn court," and as you look around, everything is as opposed to when you were walking up and everything looked green and summery, as he says the autumn court, the trees, all the leaves do start to turn into the fall colors, and a cooler breeze seems to blow through.
Have we been here this long?
In the autumn court, I could be persuaded to talk about reform and possibly restorative justice.
Take the deal. You're kind of screwed regardless.
I whisper into his ear.
Your eminent eminence, may I have 1 moment to discuss with my compatriots here, so that we may adjust to this rather abrupt change of season and decide on a course of action. It won't take but a moment.
Go ahead and make me a charisma check, but it will
Why?
be at advantage because you're the one who started talking. It will be at advantage, so you at least have that going for you.
And
I'm the wise one. I'm not the charismatic one.
I think I'm the
Like-
charismatic one.
I would like to cast guidance on
There you go.
on
I
Tender.
do a check to see if any of the other seasons would basically be worse or better.
Go ahead and make me an intelligence, either history or nature check.
I'm gonna go with history. Ooh, I'm gonna use digital dice.
Guidance gives me a plus D4, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Natural 20 plus 7.
Nice. Okay.
I'm
So-
a book man.
You do know that the judge's disposition is very influential in the courts, and that depending on what type of Eladrin they are and which way they lean will actually change the court around them. So if you look out farther, this is the only area where it has turned to fall. But in the Autumn Court, they do find arguments for reform and restorative justice convincing and disparage arguments that involve greater bloodshed. So he very well could be persuaded to your side. You do also know on this history check that the autumnal judge is the most likely to let the defendant off with a warning and not just straight out before the execution.
Got it.
May I ask you to repeat the very first part of that before the avoid, maybe persuaded, maybe dissuaded
Oh.
by arguments about bloodshed, the part before that.
They find arguments for reform and restorative justice convincing.
All right. Well, I got a 14 total with my charisma check.
Okay.
Which is as, middle of the road.
The
as
judge does look up and he's like, okay, I do find your argument appealing. How do you believe he could make amends for what has happened?
Like he could become a druid and plant more trees.
One can't just become a druid. They must learn the craft from someone. It can take years.
See, and that would be dedication enough. Years of his life spent to become a druid.
But as a human, he might die before he achieved descent. Unfortunately.
And as you do look over, Tenzin does look to be,
A little frail.
yeah, the frailty is shown, but he does look like he's probably in his late 30s or 40s. And he kind of looks up, he's like, I mean, yeah, I've always done the cutting down of trees, but I could learn to plant trees instead.
Yeah.
Just get that thumbs up coming from Spade Dig, like. Like,
Yeah, I mean-
gesturing, basically, you're doing good.
Yeah, I
It
mean, he
appears to-
can't do any good if he's dead. Like, then he's just dead.
I do abhor bloodshed.
Death is rather final. If we were to say come to some understanding of how many trees perhaps he had cut in his in his lifetime, we might decide that in order to restore balance, he might plant a number of trees equal to the amount of trees that he has cut down before, and then perhaps an additional 10 or so for the attempted chopping of the very, very wonderful dryad here present, who is apparently suffering some deep wounds to her bark. Is that what that is?
Have you tried healing that? just throwing it out there.
Apparently, one of the humans was using an enchanted blade, and so they cannot be immediately healed. No. Says the woman that is representing the dryad. Anybody who might be paying attention to the jury, give me a perception check.
So I have my owl flying around. So
You
would
can
I
have
be
your
able
owl
to,
flying around, yeah.
So would I be able to use him for the perception check?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I rolled a 19.
22?
So that is with advantage because of keen hearing and sight.
Okay.
17 plus 1 for 18.
Okay, the three of you that have been paying attention to the jury do notice that they don't really seem to be paying attention to what is actually being said or what is being argued. They just seem to nod along with whatever the judge says.
Spade Dick's gonna make a little bell noise, like, hold up, I just thought of something, and like, but gesturing like a sound of like a magic axe hitting, and then pointing at him and like, does he have a magic, like the gesturing of, does he have a magic axe? Because if he doesn't,
As you start making those noises, the judge is like, we'll take a recess. It appears that you need some more time to discuss things. So, be about it. And he does, like, point you all off to a trail into the trees and says, you may talk privately with your defendant over there. And then puts his feet back up on the bench and pulls his hat back down and apparently goes back to sleep.
Dude, it's
Right,
so fucking
head on
scary.
over, grab the defendant, bring him with us.
When we get to a good spot, I'm gonna ritually cast Liamon's tiny hut to give us a bit more privacy.
You are led by Kiffle, the person that greeted you, the bailiff. I know words. And he does lead you back, and he's all like, yes, come this way. And there is a round table with enough seats for you all, and he's like, you may talk in peace, and walks back out to the court.
I like the
Center.
direction that Spade was going in, questioning about this axe. Where is this supposed magical axe that wounds dryads?
He's like, somebody said something about more privacy?
I do Liamon's tiny hut on the center of the table, and my little dome grows out.
Yeah, he's quiet as you're ritually casting this, and he's like, I should, like, arguing with himself about whether he should say anything. But once the hut is fully cast and you are all sitting there, and Tenzin sits up a little straighter, he's like, I do have a piece of evidence, but it's not in my favor. And it's kind of serious. My axe, it's in a locked trunk. It's under the other table, not under our table, but under the other table. If they couldn't produce the axe, then that would seriously weaken their case, wouldn't it?
You'll have to excuse my lack of knowledge in these matters. I'm just right now branching out into legal matters.
You mean you haven't defended anybody before? They told me they were getting people that knew what they were doing.
Oh no, we have no idea.
I am very good at what I'm very good at.
Wah, wah.
Which is usually burning things to the ground, which we shall not do here.
Well, I mean, if this goes bad, maybe what we have to do.
I'm just wondering about the
What?
legality of messing with evidence.
But if one of you is sneaky enough and can go and steal the axe, how would they even know? And if you do look out, there's nobody currently sitting at the plaintiff table. They have gone down a similar path to their own little area to sit and talk.
I mean,
I'm
I
not quite
could
sure.
try to go grab it if we want to grab it.
Would that be legal or even moral? It's a question we might decide to ponder.
Do we care?
I don't.
Get the axe, and I'm gonna cast guidance. I'm gonna tap on yesterday's shoulder.
So yesterday's gonna go get it.
I'm gonna try. gonna try to sneak
I
over there.
cast invisibility on you.
Ooh.
Okay,
Hell yeah.
okay. So you do have guidance, and you do have advantage on the check for the invisibility. There is the Fey creatures have started to wander around a bit, and so there are some that are kind of close there. But you may go ahead and make a stealth roll to get over there, and then a sleight of hand check for me, please.
Okay.
I'm not sure I like this turn of events. It is morally dubious at best.
All right. So that is a 25 on stealth.
So yes, you do make it over there. You duck between any of the Fey creatures that have gotten in your way, and nobody even seems to sense a passing wind as you dart past them.
Oh Jesus. 24 on my sleight of hand.
Oh, yeah, okay. So you get over there, and you look at the trunk, and it's been left unlocked. So you very easily lift it up just enough to reach in and grab the axe, put the lid back down, and get back to everybody.
It's a trap.
Right? Just set the axe on the table. Like, okay, we got it. Now what?
That's my axe. Okay. Well, I mean, we can't necessarily just destroy it, but does somebody have, like, a bag we can put it in and hide it?
Could we like dispel the whatever magic's on it? Like, is that a thing?
I mean, if somebody has dispel, they could certainly try.
Maybe double.
I don't. I'm just sneaky, but
Nope.
Somebody say dispel magic.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
I could do that.
Can
Hey!
can I identify it first?
Oh, you can absolutely do that, yes.
I will ritually identify it.
Good plan.
Let me look up all of the things on this.
It's like 1960s sci-fi, like radar sounds.
like if we can make this thing not magic and I like just put it back, like then it's not a magic axe, it's just a fucking axe.
True.
And then we win.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, as you cast Identify, you do learn that this is... Check that. Yes, okay. An Axe of the Dwarvish Lords. It has a blessing of Moradin on it, So only if it is used by a dwarf. It grants immunity to poison damage, the range of your dark vision increases by 60 feet, and you gain a proficiency with artisans' tools related to blacksmithing, brewing, and stonemasonry. But you can also conjure an earth elemental with it. You can travel the depths. You can use an action to touch the axe to a fixed piece of dwarven stonework and cast the teleport spell from the axe. If the intended destination is underground, there is no chance of a mishap or arriving somewhere unexpected. It can also bestow a curse. You just get that it's a curse, not really what that does. But you do know that the only way to destroy the axe is to melt it down in the Earthheart Forge, where it was created.
I relay all that information.
Where'd you get this axe, friend?
It's not actually my axe. One of my fellows was a dwarf, and it was his axe. And he's the one that just kept cutting and cutting and cutting. But he had shaved his beard and was trying to appear human, I think.
This guy is a thief, too.
I think he's guilty. He admitted to doing it earlier.
But no,
Okay, yeah, but, like, I don't-
The regular axe. This isn't my axe.
I don't think the question is whether or not he's guilty. I think he's obviously very guilty. The question or not is whether or not he should be punished and how severely he should be punished. It's a question of fairness and balance. He did not mean to try and assassinate the Dryad.
Random question. Tenzin, what is your full human birth name? Or your full name?
I am Tenzin. I don't think it gives me a full name. Give me a second. I might have to make one up.
Insight
I am Tenzin
check.
Dryad Cutter.
Tree assaulter.
Give me a second. I gotta come up with a name now.
Slayer of all trees.
I was not expecting this.
Nature destroyer.
Brushbana. Trogdor the Bronadator.
Trogdor!
I am Tenzin Klingide.
And how is that last part spelled?
CLANGLIDE.
Are you writing a book, Hydra?
It just
No, I need it for reasons.
We haven't
Just
even we haven't even finished this part yet, and you're already writing your novel about it. That's
I just
Your
find the
memoir.
last name amusing, and I just make the sound of cling clang, just like sounds great.
I concur, Spade. I concur.
That's all, Tenzin. Thank you. And I'm going to remember, or try to, and just sit back on yesterday's shoulder.
I assume that you're working on his gravestone. No. So before we head back out there, let us see if we're in agreement. Then, are we in agreement that the question is not whether or not he did it, because he obviously did it, but what the punishment should be, and that it should be fair and commensurate with the non-crime?
Oh, that gets messy when you start telling entire areas about whether their laws punishments are just or not. That's kind of beyond my scope.
Although we didn't ask to be here, they sort of just threw us in it.
It's like, this isn't his axe. Like, is that real? Like, he wasn't using a magic axe. So I don't even know why this is important.
Telling you it wasn't my axe, I swear.
Insight check.
Has
on
anybody
that.
tried an insight check on him? I think
I was
I-
gonna ask, can I do an insight
I want
check?
to insight check that.
I was gonna say,
Insight
Oh,
I
I'd love
agree
to.
when he
But I'll
asked
try.
about it, but I just wanted to be sure. All right.
Nope,
Yes.
that's a 5. I don't know shit.
25. 19 plus 6.
Thank
15.
God.
or 14.
Yeah, 15 for me.
So yes, Ethvin, you do. As you look closer at him, his story about a dwarf who has shaved does seem to ring true. part about it not being his axe. As you look closer, he looked like a frail human with no beard. But you think that he might just be a skinny dwarf. Not that you've ever seen one before, but he's passably human. But things are just slightly off.
Looks like we've been barking up the wrong tree this entire time. Actually, I didn't make a roll, so I didn't notice that. I'm still thinking.
I tell everyone, I think he's the dwarf.
Look at, he actually has a lot of years to work towards a druid, so this practically doubled his working limit, right?
Do we have an identified dwarf spell?
Would a dwarf count as an object?
No.
By the way, yesterday is still invisible, I think, for another, 30 minutes. Because I haven't cast anything that requires concentration, so it's still going up there until you attack.
So you have hit probably about the 20-minute mark now, and the bailiff does come back out and is like, yes, yes, are you done? Are you done? It is time to reconvene.
Do I know how long dwarves live?
It's pretty well known, yeah. So you would
Cool.
know.
I think he just needs to work it off.
Yeah, I mean, it's got longer than we thought, so.
Yeah. At
Didn't
least
you say
double.
earlier that if a dwarf was wielding this axe, they could teleport?
Yes.
So if we gave him the axe, he could just.
Well, anybody could teleport with it, technically, but just the dwarf gets the Blessing of Moradin with the immunity to poison damage, increased dark vision, and the
If we give him his axe, he could just disappear, and then this entire thing would be over.
And then we're left here.
But remember that
And we helped him escape.
That when you arrived, they basically said that if you walked away from it or it didn't happen, that you could be held for the crime.
Yeah, I ain't dying for this dwarf.
I'm gonna pick up the axe and just make sure he doesn't hold it. No axe for you.
We could just teleport out of here. I know then we'd be held accountable for crime. Master Dwarf, why have you been dissembling and lying to us all this time?
Swear I haven't, I swear. And the bailiff is like, oh, he's been lying, has he?
I backhand him.
Who, me, the dwarf, or the
The
bailiff?
dwarf. Because if dwarves, I think it's common knowledge that dwarves are a proud race, and they would never deny their dwarven heritage. So no,
Conundrum, isn't it?
you don't lie to your defense team.
We need to know everything.
And the bailiff's like, well, your time is up for him telling you everything, and you were needed back in the court.
I look over at Spade. What you were talking about before? A little. I give you the, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. The little interruption thing. Can you pointing?
Yeah,
at
that's the signal of. The signal of. You're talking about dispel, using the dispel magic.
Distraction.
No, it's not the signal.
I'm sorry, my head's all over the place right now.
Distract the bailiff.
Oh, you want me to just completely make a scene of myself?
Well, I just want the bailiff to leave us alone for a couple of minutes while we straighten out this dwarf situation. Is there anything you can do?
Anything I can do?
Mimicry or something? You can maybe make he's being called over by someone, or
Actually, what would be the sound that they would? How do they call people back call people out of recess, like back to the court.
Oh, they
Like-
send the bailiff to get the people. That's what he's doing there. Yeah.
Okay, this is my this is what happens when I lose track of the narrative.
It happens.
Okay, I mean, I'm level 7. I mean, there's a possibility I may or may not know this. Is there like something that may be like a call for concern for the bailiff to go back? Like they need to go and address something, like a sound, like a signal or something.
If the judge was banging his gavel trying to get order, since the bailiff is in charge of keeping order.
Like a fireball?
Oh my god. I mean, yeah, if you throw enough fireballs at a gavel plate, yeah, maybe you can make the toot 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 sound.
There are dryads in the audience. If you send a fireball out there, we're all going to be on this thing for murder. So
Attempted murder.
So, okay, my take then is that I probably like in our space particularly maybe like move myself towards the exit that would be towards the courtroom and project the sound of gavel smashing because I'm not going to be able to do the voice, but the gavel smashing, but I'm going to use thaumaturgy to kind of like amp it up and sound like it's really like urgent, so to speak.
Make a deception check for me.
Guidance.
I'm so glad I'm proficient
Oh
in
wait,
this.
no guidance. No guidance.
Because that would be
Invisibil-
possible.
Also invisibility. I don't want that falling.
Oh, yeah, fair.
No guidance.
I suppose I can guidance myself.
Yeah.
I'm not focusing on anything. Okay. So. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll roll the guidance anyways, but this is a pretty good roll. It was 1 T3 because I rolled a 20.
Okay, yeah, he's like, 1 minute. I must go see what the judge wants, and he strides back to the courtroom.
You got like a wink and a feathery thumbs up over to Tender.
all right,
Okay,
Tenzin,
so,
now
like-
it's time for you to come clean with everything. Tell us exactly who you are, whether or not you're a dwarf. We need to know before we go back in there.
I swear I'm not a dwarf. Dwarves wouldn't lie about that. Dwarves are very proud.
I backhand him again.
Can I incite him as he says all these things to see if he's lying to me?
Yeah, you can insight check.
Lying?
I got a 25. I know he's lying.
All right, my insight's terrible, so we'll defer to yours.
He's lying. I can smell it.
Yeah, no, Ethvin, you definitely can tell that while it's a very odd behavior for a dwarf. Yeah, you can tell, very odd behavior for a dwarf, but this one does seem to be lying about being a dwarf. Something must have gone really wrong for him to be this adamant about
so
not being one.
we think he's running away from other justice. Back road justice.
Where did the axe end up? I don't remember what anybody said.
I'm still holding it, but I was going to give it to yesterday to put it back in like the evidence box.
Yeah, like I can do that if we don't want to keep this and we don't want to dispel it. Like I can go put it back.
I don't think you can dispel it. This is like a really strong dwarven relic.
All right, so
We need
do
to
we want to
figure-
put it back? Because I don't want to get caught holding it.
No, but we need to figure out, because if we decide that we want to get him off of this, then keeping the axe and hiding it's the way to go. But if he's not going to tell us exactly what's going on, then maybe we have no reason to want to help him, and we should just put it back there and let things take their course. Looking at him pointedly.
So,
And on that note, we are going to take our break so that you
Oh,
guys
no.
can maybe discuss amongst yourselves a little bit more how you want to proceed.
Fireball. Fireball.
Let me make sure that we have it ready to.
All is equal under the great fireball.
It's a small 5x5 room. backhand him.
And we're back. So, where we left off, it had been discussion after distracting the bailiff on what to do with this person who looks like a human but might be a dwarf.
Are you a dwarf?
No, I keep telling you I'm not.
Backhand him.
Hydra,
Roll an
Hydra, you can-
unarmed
so you
strike for that one, because you keep doing it.
I do no damage.
God.
My unarmed strike is 0. That's why I
You're just
liberally
patting him.
use it.
Just gentle pats.
It's just for disrespect.
It's for the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Hydra, can't you do something with his name?
Emotional
Yeah.
damage.
So I am. Can I do like an Arcana check to
Yeah.
like use his true name?
Sure.
Okay. $24. I want to have him start telling us the truth, being truthful about his intentions, and is he a dwarf?
So with that, you do see him kind of start to sway a little bit. And he's like, I had to run. They wanted to kill me. But I took the axe. It was a very cool axe. And then I made myself look human. And I've been hiding for years.
I'm gonna look at my party. My job's done.
So who or what exactly are you?
I didn't lie about my name. But it's not the name I was born with. It's the name that I grew into when I went into hiding. I don't remember my name I was born with. I went to a hag and I had them cast a spell so I would forget most of who I was, but enough that I knew not to go back and that I was secretly a dwarf.
So,
Hi.
witness protection.
My entire group sees me contemplating if I should backhand it again.
I'm
So
not
he
gonna
is a
stop
dwarf.
because you're not doing any damage. So like, it's hilarious.
I backhand him for wasting those 20 minutes of my spell.
Spadek's just like concern. Starting
Did
to
you
feel
just
bad for
admit
us.
that he is a dwarf? Or
Yes.
did I mishear that? Okay.
Yes. At that moment, the bailiff, Kiffle, comes back flustered. I don't know what that was, but apparently it wasn't actually the judge's gavel. But your time is up. We must go back out. And he, like, grabs Tenzin by the arm and starts leading you all back out to the courtroom.
I'm gonna signal for yesterday to get the axe and put it back in the box. So it's not on us.
I can try.
You're still invisible!
Yeah, so you could make another stealth check at advantage.
That's 29.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, wow.
You very easily get back over, and the moon elf that is representing the dryad is standing at the table, but at that moment just seems to be called by the dryad that was holding Chrysalia earlier, and so you do have a clear line to the box.
Hell yeah. Just gonna slip that back in. Then make my way like
Give me a sleight of
I
hand
guess-
check to make sure that you get it in with no sound.
just like looking over, waiting for somebody to hear noises. I'll just make a noise.
30-20.
Okay, yeah.
Good.
No, you get it in there just fine and leave the lock how it had been found.
Then I'll just go back to where we came from and have the invisibility drop, so it just looks like I'm like really, really far behind.
So you do all go back out and sit back down at the bench. And Tenzin still has a little bit of the sway going on. And then he starts to look at you all and realizing that maybe things really aren't going his way. And he makes a bolt for the trees.
I'm gonna cast Entangle.
Okay. Is it attack roll or saving throw?
Let me see. Entangle.
It is a saving roll.
I
just
yeah,
looked.
16.
All right. He gets a 22.
Silvery barbs.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I'm using silvery barbs as a reaction.
All right.
So he has to. Creature must re-roll the d20 and use the lower roll.
Okay. That's a 7. So now entangle works. So he like starts to pull out of it, and then the reaction happens, and he is stuck. The judge stands up, and he's like, "I will not stand for this."
Aren't you
Attack!
standing? And I'm going to give advantage because that's the other half to Tender. So you have advantage on your next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
And because he doesn't necessarily notice that it's you that cast the entangle, since that is a very common spell in the court, he doesn't know that you all are trying to stop him. And you are all approached by 2 knights, a gladiator, and some sprites and scouts.
What the?
I need everybody to roll initiative.
Oh, God.
Now would be a good time for the fireball.
It's coming. Don't worry.
Man, this is bullshit.
I'm going to use the one I rolled because it's really low.
Hey, give me 1 second to get up. That's not what I... Dear computer, do what I tell you to do. It's honestly user error. Ignore me. All right. Ethwin, what is your initiative roll?
13.
Yesterday.
16.
Spade dig.
10.
Hydra.
21.
And Tender.
17.
Okay, so Hydra, you are up first as you are being rushed by these people. These Eldrin and sprites.
I'm gonna look around really quickly. Do we want to try talking our way out of this, or?
I mean, Ethan seems real excited to fight.
Alrighty, and then I'm gonna drop.
I'm personally kind of annoyed with like all of them right now. A little culling, I figure.
I am going to drop Entangle. And I'm going to cast. Conjure Animals. And I'm going to conjure 4 bears.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm gonna say, "Hey, friends, come help!" And then dingling on my little harp, and they'll just appear.
Since we know what this is because we're a group, I just clap silently because I'm excited for animal friends.
Is that your action? Do you have a bonus action you would like to do?
No bonus action this time.
Okay, and that brings us to Tender.
Ender's gonna draw his sword, called Love, and his axe, called Care.
Aww.
Love it.
And I'm not a aggressive, violent person by nature, so I will not attack. But I've been drawing my weapons. I will move to stand between Spade and whoever might be coming towards Spade, and will hold my action. If anyone attempts to interfere with our cleric, I will give him a little love and care.
All right. That brings us to yesterday.
Gonna back up a little bit because I don't want them getting too close to me. Manifest a glowing blue psychic blade in each hand and throw them at just the nearest guard.
Okay, so that'll be the gladiator that's coming towards you.
Cool. Yep. Wow, that's not great. 13 and 17.
The 17 does hit.
Okay, cool. $21 points of damage.
Okay.
And as soon as they hit or go flying off in the distance like that first one, they just disappear.
Okay. Then next we have, unless you have a bonus action you would like to do.
No, I think the second one was my bonus action, so I'm good.
Okay. That brings us to Tenzin. He sees that you all are now embroiled in a fight because of him. I'm gonna roll. Nope, he's still gonna be a coward and try to keep running. So he's gonna run for the trees.
He dies first.
He does use his
Hey.
dash, so he is now probably about 60 feet away from y'all.
I mean, if he's far away, that's prime fireballing.
Oh no.
Don't kill him. Don't kill him. He's just afraid.
Yeah, he's leaving us behind to take care of his mess. Fuck him.
And then that'll bring us to Ethwin.
You piece of shit, wasting my slots! And I guiding bolt him.
All right.
So I rolled a 20 to hit, so it's a nat 20.
That does definitely hit.
And then it rolled it automatically and did 27 damage, I'm guessing.
Knocks him on off his feet, like he's running, and it hits him in the back, and he just goes face first into the dirt, and he does take damage.
And then I'm going to bonus action starry form wild shape into archer.
Okay.
So you see that my robes take on a dark blue hue like my body, and then the little freckles around my like skin start to connect with lines to make the shapes of like constellations. And then I just yell at him, "If you run, you die."
All right. Go roll me an intimidation check for that one.
Ooh, a lot. Hold on. I'm like 19 plus what? I was like, wait, hold on. I can read this. I've lost my ability to read upside down. And yes, I rotated my head instead of my dice tray because efficiency.
So yes, he does kind of like stay where he is on the ground and curls up into a ball and is just like rocking. Anything else you were like? Oh no, that bonus action was the intimidation check. So now it is the bad guys. First, 5 sprites come towards you all and start to. So since there's 5 of them, each of you are getting targeted by one of them, and they've got tiny little short swords that they're gonna try and poke you with. So on Spade, does a 12 hit? Travis, Spade.
12 will not hit. No.
Okay.
Sorry, I brain fart.
The one going for Tender. 22.
Yeah.
You take 1 slashing damage.
Ow!
Yesterday. Dirty 20.
Yep.
Also 1 slashing damage. They really
Like a
don't
toothpick.
do much.
It's like a toothpick.
I'm a wizard. That might kill me.
Dra, I don't think a 7 will hit you.
Nope.
Just funny, because aren't you their size?
Yeah.
And Ethwin, I don't think a 8 is going to.
You actually missed? I have like no AC. I don't even take mage armor. I'm so weak.
But then, as they all swarm you and try to attack, the scouts, there's 3 of them that are, they all come forward and take a knee and aim their long bows. One of them is going to aim at Tenzin. That definitely hits. That is. Okay. So Tenzin takes another hit as he's rocking on the floor. The other 2 scouts are going to go for Tender and Spade. Tender does a massive 5.
I'm weak. I'm not that weak.
Jesus, I swear, whenever I'm bad guys, I can't roll for shit. I don't think that a 11 is going to hit Spade. So they take a knee and shoot the bows and completely miss. The 2 knights are going to come around the sides, and one of them is going to try to hit Hydra, and then the other one is going to go also for Tenzin. They want him gone. Tenzin does get hit. That is... I have too many...
Chrono shift.
Damage.
Oh no, he's too far. He's 60 feet. I can't chrono shift. Boo. That's what he gets for running away. Oh wait, they're attacking him.
Yes.
They have the first attack has advantage.
Technically, that would have been one of the sprites, but
Okay.
even with a natural 20, it would have still been 1 slashing. Because sprites are sprites.
The power of guiding bolt.
The other knight is going to take a swing at Ethwin. I don't think a 4 hits.
Are you rolling d20s, Kristen, or are you rolling like d10s?
20s. And then the gladiator is going to stride forward towards yesterday and is going to level his spear and throw it at you. Dirty 20.
That hits.
You take 10 points of damage.
Ow, that hurts more than those little toothpicks. Okay.
And then we are on to Spade's turn.
How's everybody looking of our team? Like, it seems like a lot of damage got thrown around. Anybody hurting too poorly?
I lost
I mean,
1
I'm
point.
a little hurt, but like I'm not doing terribly.
Okay. All right. I think I'll hold off just for a bit, and I think what I will do in this instance is I'm going to cast Aid on. Let's see, I'm going to cast Aid on Tender, Yesterday, and Hydra at 3rd level. So each of you restore and increase the maximum HP by 10 points
Ooh.
for 8 hours. So,
Very nice.
yeah, this is the effect that'll last for 8 hours. So, the whole fight. All right.
Those are temporary or permanent hit points?
He basically all it did it's as if your maximum HP went up instead of it being temporary. I guess that's the permanent. I think it's just
for
like
8
permanent
hours.
for 8 hours.
Hell
So
yeah.
you've been healed by 10, but also went up by 10. So that's you got a buffer.
Nice.
Thank you.
And as a bonus action, as he takes the bell off around his neck and rings it and casts spiritual weapon to form this this ridiculously ornate mace is about almost the size of him. You hear just the ring and then just kind of this smoky, ethereal, almost ghost-like form, and then you have a mace.
All right. Who are you going to attack with said spiritual weapon?
I would like to get a sense of who seems the most threatening right now.
The gladiator. Absolutely.
I would say, yeah, to his perspective, the gladiator. So, yes, then it's gonna basically kind of do a little whirl and then glide directly, silently towards the gladiator and give him a nice little bonk on the head.
All right, roll to attack.
That is gonna be a 16 to hit.
If it meets, it beats. So go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. Let me make sure that I had the right. Clicking that off, and I'll just hit that button. Total of. Wait, it should have added a D8 to that. So let me just roll another D8.
This is why I don't like the digital dice. They don't always do what I tell them to.
Oh wait, no. 4, 9 plus the 5, so that's total 14 force damage.
All right. Now I have to math. All right. Next
At
up,
the end of my turn.
we're back at the top with Hydra.
There's a knight that came up to me to hit me, yeah? A knight guy.
Sprite, yes.
Right?
A sprite and then a scout aimed at you. And I think a knight came around next to you. Yeah.
I'm gonna sick my bears on him. All four of them are gonna come up and just surround the knight guy.
The knight, okay.
They get a claw attack and a bite attack.
All right, go ahead and roll for those.
So this is the first bear. Oh, whoops. Not what I want to do. The highest was a 9. The highest was a 9.
Yeah, he swipes out, and the knight is just like, haha, your bear doesn't scare me.
On to the next bear then.
I barely noticed him.
These puns are unbearable.
Bear with me, it'll get better.
It's a bare necessity.
I think we need to pause on these jokes.
I'm a Gemini. What's their sign?
And the highest was a 16, so 11 and a 16.
Nope, not quite enough to hit. It's like, it scrapes at the plate armor that the knight is wearing, but does no damage.
Third bear, you got this. A 13 and a 9.
Nope. Again,
Okay.
strikes out. Not quite finding purchase.
These
Fourth
are
bear.
Not
bears.
realizing I dropped dice and finding them with
Oh, well, he nat 1 and then an 11.
nope, still not enough. The bears are distracting the knight, but
Oh,
no damage.
And so for my bonus action, now that he's surrounded, don't worry, this one's surrounded, guys. I'm gonna pretend like none of that happened.
Working as intended.
For my bonus action, I can use Healing Word at first level, and I'm gonna target yesterday since they've taken the most damage.
All right.
You heal for 8 yesterday.
Hell yeah, thank you.
And that brings us to Tender.
I will. The gladiator that Spade was attacking, I guess, was the gladiator.
Yep.
I will move in and take care of him. You said I have advantage on my first attack. Was that right? From the
Yes.
spell earlier. All right. So it'll be a couple attacks with the sword, one with the axe. I'm dual wielding. All right. So first one with advantage. Will net me a 22.
That hits.
The second one will be 23.
Those both hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
And with the axe, it'll be 22, so that'll hit also. Sweet. All right, so the first attack, that's an 8, plus I'll do my Dreadful Strike. So that's 10 total, the first attack. Be 6 on the second attack. And 9 on the offhand attack.
All right. Yeah, you get him a few good times, and he's just like, oh, wait, one of you is actually effectual? And now his eyes are set on you.
Darn it.
And that brings us to yesterday.
Well, that's rude.
You go back in time.
Do I hear this?
Yeah.
Oh, no, now he's offended.
All right. Just gonna go with my with both of my knives again. See
So are you
if
going
I can
to...
get.
There are the scouts that have come up to you, the sprites, and then there are 2 knights off to the sides, and the gladiator is in the middle, squaring up with Tender.
I mean, the. I think I'll still focus on the gladiator, especially because
Okay.
he's being insulting.
Must destroy.
Yeah, well, that's good and bad because one of those definitely doesn't hit, but the other is a nat 20. So
Nice, nice.
Still only managed to hit once, but that one's gonna be a doozy.
You do have Tender that is on the opposite side of him from you. So if you're close, he's within 5 feet, so you get sneak attack on that as well.
Yeah, that's why I'm excited about that 20. But give me a sec, because that's a lot of fucking sixes. I get a calculator out real quick.
Okay, go for it.
That is plus. That's 34. 34
Okay.
points damage.
Yeah, this blade hits him right in the middle of the back, and he's just, ugh! And like a little bit of blood starts to dribble out of his mouth, and he's still up. But Tender, you can tell, he's pretty dang hurt.
Time to heal.
That for ineffectual.
And that brings us to Tenzin, who is curled in a ball with a sprite and a scout that have attacked him. And he's just going to like strike up and try to hit the sprite that is above him.
I like how we've just given up on him. We're like, eh.
He bolted. Who fucking cares?
he,
He was gonna leave us.
He abandoned us.
He tries to hit twice and rolled a natural 1 and a 5 on his head. So he's
Of
just so curled up, he's
course
like, eh. He's just like, no, I don't like.
No me gusta.
And then that brings us to Ethwin.
Is there a large clump of them that wouldn't get allies?
How big of an area are we talking?
20-foot radius, so 40 foot.
Okay.
40 wide, yeah.
The 3 scouts that were shooting the arrows, and yeah, it would just be the 3 scouts. They are in a clump, and you would get Tenzin and the sprite on him if you aimed it back far enough.
Can I lift it in the air so it doesn't get Tenzin, but it basically singes his eyebrows off? So he knows to fear me. Yay! And I'm gonna cast this at 4th level.
Okay.
So it's 9d6. Oh, 36 damage.
Okay, and that's a saving throw on that, correct?
Dexterity 15.
Okay. So, scouts. One scout makes it. You said it was dexterity 15?
Yeah.
That one just meets it. And that one beats it. So the 3 scouts take half damage. The sprite is just dust. The sprites only have 2 hit points. So really just there to be annoying.
And bonus action.
But how much was the damage? You said 36?
Yeah, so it'd be 18 if they saved.
Oh, even saving, you take out all 3 of the scouts.
Ooh.
So you see this fireball that shoots out, and it takes out the 3 scouts and the sprite, and just slightly singes Tenzin's eyebrows, and he like curls up even tighter and whimpers.
I did the thing!
Turn.
I just yelled to the group, I did the thing!
It was a good thing this time.
Yeah.
Progress! And then I shoot the champion with one of my, because I can do as a bonus action. Starry Form Archer
Okay.
does... Nope, that's a miss.
Okay.
That's an 8.
All right. So first up, the gladiator, who's hurt but still standing against Tender, is going to do a multi-attack. The first strike.
Objection.
The first strike is a 12.
Oh, nice. I got 13.
The second strike, that does hit.
Damn you.
God damn it, I keep dropping dice. Third strike is a natural 1. So, with the first strike, he kind of reaches out with his spear to, like, poke at you and misses. And then he goes for you with his shield and does...
Tonal shift.
Oh, what does
Reroll.
Furnace do? Oh,
It's
reroll?
like so, yeah. It's a reroll and use the
The other
lower
one's
one.
actually higher, so...
No, I tried.
Oh, thank you.
But it is only going to do... 9 damage!
Ouch.
And that takes his turn. The knights.
There go my
One is-
bonus hit points.
One of the knights is going to go against Hydra's bears with a multi-attack. Does a 21 hit a bear?
Yes, their AC is just 11.
I don't think that an 8 is going to hit, though. No. So he does get 1 hit on the bear, and that is going to be 8 points of damage on one of the bears. The other knight is still over on Spade, and that's a natural 20.
Natural 20, you say?
Yes.
Yeah, let me just take a wild check here of a particular ability I have
Okay.
as a reaction. Can I use it on myself? Oh, when I or a creature I see suffers a crit, I can turn
Okay.
it into a normal hit.
Oh, well played. Well played. All right. So, and he was just doing a greatsword attack. He wasn't gonna multi-attack because he doesn't see you as a worthy opponent.
That would have freaking hurt on a crit.
Kill him
Hurt.
for disrespecting you.
To see like my life flashing before my eyes is, and you hear like this like low grade dong of a bell, and you, like as the weapon was coming down, it gets slowed down by like this ethereal black smoke. It just kind of softens as it strikes.
All right, so it does hit you for 9 points of damage.
Ooh.
And then the 4 remaining sprites are going to aim at Ethwin, Wraith, Hydra, and Tender. That is not going to hit Ethwin. Spade, does a 15 hit?
15 will not hit.
Okay. Tender. That's not going to hit. I'm rolling so many 3s. What the hell? And Hydra. With a nat 20, you take 1 point of slashing damage.
As you would do.
Because they don't actually roll anything, so they don't get to double anything. Alright. Gladiator, the knights, the sprites. Yep, that ends their turn. And Spade, it is your turn.
Alright, I was gonna do a thing, but instead I would prefer to do something else. So we're gonna go with spells. That thing hit me for a way too much damage that I'm comfortable with, and I have like a -1 in con. So, okay. I would like to cast Inflict Wounds at 4th level on him.
Alright.
Okay. We roll the 2 hits. That is a total of 25 to hit.
That definitely hits.
And I'll just hit this button. What does this do? That's 43 necrotic damage.
Oh yeah. You reach out and you touch, like you reach out almost like you're going to caress his face because that's the only bit of his skin that you can see with his plate armor, and just his skin turns this sickly green color, and he just gets really woozy and is like, oh, but he's still barely up.
Okay.
Do anything with your bonus action?
For my bonus action, I would like for my spiritual weapons to return back and bonk them from behind.
Okay.
That's another 25. Okay. For a total of 6 damage. Force.
It hits him, and he staggers, and there's blood coming from the back of his head where he was hit, and he staggers a little bit. He's still barely up, very bloodied, but still standing. And then we go back to the top to Hydra's turn.
Do I see this from across? Because they're checking the gladiator, yeah?
No, this is one of the knights. Tender is facing off with the gladiator, but he also looks very bloodied. The knight surrounded by your bears has not taken any damage.
I'm gonna hit that one.
Okay.
Don't worry, Pooh Bear, I'm gonna save you. So I'm gonna shoot him with my crossbow. And I got a 3.
I'll save you, Pooh Bear! And you go to shoot, and it goes right past his head. You have a bonus action you'd like to use.
Yes, I also have starry form, so I'm gonna take my hair out of my high ponytail and cast starry form on myself.
Okay.
Star Twins.
Our powers combine. Or Sailor Moon.
And that brings us to Tender.
All right. Just a quick question. I'll take a quick look at Spade. Does he look wounded beyond reason, or?
They definitely it definitely shook him, but he's not bloodied yet. Let's say he's still above the halfway point.
Okay.
We're getting close to the halfway point.
All right. So I am going to actually. Yeah. Am I close enough to move to him and cast Cure Wounds on him?
Yeah, you're maybe 15 feet from him, Thomas.
All right. So I'll do that.
You will take an opportunity attack from the gladiator, however.
No, I won't. Hold on.
Oh.
Because I say so.
I might not be able to do it and do the spell, though. Yeah, no, hold on. I can't do it. I'll suck on the opportunity attack. That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay.
Opportunity me.
Does a 14 hit?
It does.
Okay. You take 10 points of damage.
All right. Sucks baloney. I'll do it for my cleric. So then I will move on over. I will cast Cure at the second level. Giving you back 16 points.
Okay, and then I hit the heal button, and I am feeling 100% now.
And...
All right. Anything else for your turn?
I do believe. can cast a spell as a bonus action, right?
It depends on what the spell is.
It's not a it's not a spell. It is. It's not a spell. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. If it's a class feature, then that's different.
Yeah, it's a class feature thingamabobber.
Just need to believe.
He's beginning to believe.
No, I won't do anything.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna save it. Thanks. Sorry.
That brings us to yesterday's turn.
All right, so there's the gladiator and there's a knight that are really bloodied, right?
Yes.
Which one looks worse?
Oh, the knight.
The knight?
They both
Okay.
look really bad, but the knight looks slightly worse.
The night is dark,
Okay.
full of evil.
Oh, once again, thanks for the raid, Rob. We love you.
Okay. And there's no longer anyone near the gladiator, right?
Yes, Tender ran.
Do the bears count as allies?
Yes, the bears do count as allies.
Yes.
I
Fair
knew they'd come in
ally.
handy one day.
Cool. Okay. So I'm once again gonna throw two knives. I want to aim one at the damaged knight that's attacking Spade, and the second I want to aim at our friend surrounded by bears.
Okay.
All right. Oh, god damn it! Why can I only hit once? That's like a fucking 9 for the first hit, so that definitely does not fucking hit.
And that was the one aimed at the bloodied knight?
Yeah, that's the one that's aimed at the bloodied one. And hold on, math. 21 for the second.
That definitely hits. And that's the one that would get sneak attack because the bears. The
Because bears are allies.
The bears.
All right, let's see. So it's 18 points of psychic damage.
All right. Okay. Math is my friend. And that brings us to Tenzin, who is curled up in a ball and just had his eyebrows burned off by the slightly raised fireball. And after that,
warning.
he's gonna shake himself a little bit, and he's gonna stand up, and he's going to try and make a run for the locked box that has his axe in it.
This bitch.
Makes a dash. He makes it over to it. The moon elf is going to step in front of him and try to block him. So we're going to do a contested strength check quick.
Can I help the moon elf?
And the moon elf body check the skinny dwarf.
So the skinny dwarf rolled a 5 total. The moon elf rolled a 7 total.
Nice.
It
He, like,
beats
tries
it.
to push her out of the way, and she holds her ground and just like puts her fists up, like, I don't know what I'm doing. But that is Tenzin's turn, and so we come to Ethwin.
I look at my group and I said, I was pretty clear. If he runs, he dies, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
I will now cast Fireball to now include him in it.
Okay, where he's at now would get Hydra, the bears, the moon elf, and the dryad.
Not
Oh.
acceptable losses. Not.
I don't
Get
want to hit
after me.
Hydra.
You got a lightning bolt in that pocket, man? You
No, but I do
thread the
have
needle?
Guiding Bolt.
Hey, that can do it.
You knocked him on his ass once with it.
A little
So-
bit of
I mean,
Shazam.
I can stab him when I go next.
How far am I from them?
You're probably about 30 feet.
Okay. I'm gonna guiding bolt him.
Okay.
So, where's the thingy? There it is. Bong. 21 to hit, 14
That
damage.
14 damage?
Mm-hmm.
He's still up, but
Okay.
he does kind of, and turns and just glares at you.
And then I make the motion to backhand him. And then my hand continues to just go back, and I bring my other arm up forward, and I draw it, and I shoot him with a starry arrow. And because I hit him with guiding bolt, I have advantage
Yes, you
on
do.
this. So 21.
Yep, that hits.
So I do another 11 damage.
Oh, he's down. He's gone. Womp womp.
And then
So he
Can I-
falls at the feet of the moon elf, like, my axe. And just falls.
and then I'll just say to the judge, if he's dead, does that mean the trial's like over?
You have attacked my men. No, it is
They
not.
attacked us.
They
You
attacked us,
attacked-
buddy.
Us first.
We're
just
defending.
to clarify, and in a
Make
very pretentious way, I pull out.
charisma check.
Oh.
Persuasion to see if you can persuade him that you were actually trying to stop him and not help him.
Can you get advantage because we're all like chiming in as well?
Yes, I will give that an advantage charisma.
Okay, because I rolled an 11. That's not good. Oh, 16.
Not bad.
Okay, he's like, all
Respectable.
right, stand down, stand down. I do believe that you only attacked because they attacked thinking you were trying to help him. He has been executed, and so this ends our trial. Here, I will give you these 10 end cap tokens each. These tokens are made of a dried fungus. When he does hand them to you, they're in the size and shape of a typical coin. And he tells
Giving
you,
us magic mushroom.
these can be used as a barter with the Fae, with each one being worth about 10 gold pieces to most Fae. They can also be consumed. Each one functions as a good berry that never expires.
Magic mushroom.
And then I'll be like, well, can I just have the axe instead?
That axe will be returned to the dwarves. It is a dwarven relic, and while this one was a very sad excuse for a dwarf, it does need to go back to their people. And you do see that a couple of clerics come out and do heal up the knight and the gladiator that were at 1 and 6 hit points respectively.
Kill them. We can still take the axe.
I help him heal they're wounded by casting the healing guardian thing.
Okay.
Just to,
Can I
Yes,
take
some healing
the-
is happening, and the judge does stand for a minute, and he says, "The trial has concluded. The defendant was found guilty and summarily executed by his defense team."
When you put it like that.
They are now known to be friends of the autumnal court, and shall be welcomed back if they do choose to visit again. And on
All
that,
right, but for now, how about we make like a tree and leaf?
I'm gonna cast guidance on yesterday in case they try to steal.
I did kind of want to take advantage of everyone like healing up shit and see if I could steal that out.
I would give you, and I would also cast invisibility on you again.
Yeah.
okay,
I tried.
so it has been, amidst all of that, when Tenzin started running for it, the bailiff did lock the chest. So I would need a stealth check at advantage, a sleight of hand check, and thief tool check.
Okay, cool. I can do that. Yeah.
Oh, no guidance because of invisibility.
That's fine. That's fine.
But I believe in you.
So that's that's still a 28 on my stealth.
Yep.
Sleight of hand is math 18.
Okay.
And then is picking lock just like a straight D20 roll?
If you have, yeah, as long as you have proficiency in thieves' tools, it's dexterity, proficiency, and your roll.
Okay, cool. That's a dirty 20. So.
Okay, yes, you do manage to get over with no issue at all, and you quietly pick the lock, and it comes open, and there's a slight little squeak, but you stop for a second, and nobody notices, and you're able to get it out.
Just bring it back to the party.
As this happens, the judge doesn't notice that you've disappeared at all and gone invisible, and says, "And on that, we shall party." And all of the benches disappear, and tables spring up with food and drink, and it has turned into an execution party.
Execution party.
And on that note, we are going to end for tonight. Thank you so much, players and audience and raiders, for joining us tonight. I have been your DM, Kristen. You can find me on Twitter as Darth Surrealish. We're also on Twitter for R&R Productions, same as we are in here. And let us meet our players and where we can find them. We will start with Christian.
Hi, I'm Christian. The league season on Twitter. I also have a slight little YouTube channel where I talk about my home game and my inspiration for games and campaigns, so on and so forth. And I will have the opportunity to run a 4-part Vaesen campaign right here on R&R starting in April. In May, sorry, I've made this mistake twice now. The first 4 Mondays of May with our dear Kristen here as one of the players. And I very much look forward to that.
Next up, we'll meet Izzy.
Hi, I'm Izzy. Have a good night, everyone. I just have an Instagram, Izzy Talavera, and then I'll see you guys in June for
starting the long-term 5e
Yes.
campaign that I have brewing.
Yes. So June, look out for that.
Yes. And Travis.
Hi, I'm Travis, also known as Eversalt. You can find me as Skane Eversalt on Twitter, or you can find me as Eversalt on YouTube. There you go.
Danny.
Hi, I'm Danny. You can find me on the internet as Dr. Snugglebutts, because I felt like making that my handle. And you can see me on Sundays playing a very sticky-fingered Sorcerer Warlock. I like...
Who really went wild last night.
Look, it's all about the con. The short con, the long con, the medium con, the con while I'm napping. Everything plays a role. But yeah, and that's on Sundays on Crows of the Damned on Twitch.
Lots of fun. I got to guest last night.
It was. She took all the damage and didn't die, and that's what mattered.
Last but certainly not least, Wraith.
Hey, I'm Wraith. I can be found at SlenderNoya on Twitch and SlenderNoya Cosplay on Instagram. I also play every Saturday over at Exquisite Corpse Presents as Abandoned Hope Scarrow, a rogue cleric who may finally get some fucking sleep soon because he's been awake for 4 days. Everything's a disadvantage. It's been terrible.
It's all for the feet, though.
I'm so close, and I might get to sleep next session, and I'm so very excited to not be rolling everything at disadvantage, because I've been doing it since 3rd session.
And we're on 11? We're 12. 12 is the next session.
And my dice hate me, so everything's terrible. I fail everything.
You can also find me on that game playing as Candy, the blind hacker, who is having lots of fun with toys, playing with Lamb Chop right now, but that's only to avoid the bi panic. You can also find me playing on Ladies of D&D every other Saturday morning, but this Saturday morning at 8 a.m. my time, I'm going to be over on the channel of Fun with Fondue, playing in a 5e homebrew League of Legends one-shot that I'm really excited to play in. Other than that, I have tomorrow night, we are going to be doing the first Chaos Curiosities, where I'm going to do some world building for said long-term 5e campaign starting in June, where I'm going to go into my process of building the deities for the world and do a little bit of that on stream and have fun with that. And then on Monday, we do have Dungeon Matter Homebrew coming on for Chaos Commentary with Kat and I. We're going to interview him about the game we played a few weeks ago, the Crashlands, which releases on Monday. Definitely check it out. I do have a thing for that. There we go. And then Viking Death Squad, our last one-shot of the month, will be next Tuesday. And then we do have Christian joining us again, leading myself, Phantom NJ, North Shore DM, both in the chat are going to be in that, as well as Kevin, who is the runner of the podcast Game Night Heroes, which Travis and I both have been on quite often recently. Those episodes should be coming out soon, so that's exciting. And thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you again, Raiders, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.
Take care.